So I wanted to follow up on an article I wrote this morning, actually. I'm asking the question, are the terms dynamic, geospatial new to that broader understanding of what is a digital twin? And thanks to Bill Wallace, he provided a really good comment on the article and a couple of others. So I wanted to kind of follow up here and talk about that definitional piece of what I've really been calling a dynamic geospatial digital twin. So I think for a lot of people, digital twin, it's a confusing term. I think a lot of people see it as 3D, a 3D model of a building, a 3D model of something. So I think 3D and digital twin are kind of connected. Dynamic means it's a changing digital twin. In other words, it's a model of the real world. Since the real world is always changing, to inject that dynamic piece suggests it really is a sort of a dynamic version of well, the real world, if you like. So we've got a 3D model which is dynamic. So it may be redundant to use the word dynamic, but I'm using that term just so people don't get confused about the way with just that single term 3D. And then geospatial is really, to me, that extra piece to the puzzle which has been missing. Geospatial gives context. So let's just break it down very quickly. And I'm going to use my understanding of the evolving world of Bentley in this next part to paint this picture a little bit better. So I think in Bentley are famous for CAD and Microstation. So if you're an architect, you're designing a building in those technologies. They built in 2016, I think, Bentley iTwin. They started building iTwin, which is a digital reality platform. So as I'm understanding the workflow, that 3D or that Microstation model that an architect has built can be brought into iTwin to generate a digital twin. And that's where the magic happens in terms of adding all these information layers to this 3D model. And that includes dynamic data. That can be IoT data, but that's kind of real-time data that can be embedded within that digital twin. But in isolation, like I've spoken about in previous talks and articles, a digital twin, even if it's a dynamic digital twin, has no real context. It sits in isolation. So when one brings that into Cesium, for example, in the Bentley case, one drops that into a real city, into the real world. So you can actually then see that digital twin, that dynamic digital twin, in reference to everything around it. And then you can ask all those additional questions on top that geospatial bring. And the beauty of Cesium is, and why Patrick and the team built it that way, is because it's very difficult to visualize these enormous amounts of geospatial data in 3D. That's what Cesium does so well. So there is that three-part flow that I'm understanding within the Bentley world, which is why I'm so interested in what's happening in that universe. But to me, we're really now talking about the importance of dynamic geospatial digital twins. Geospatial now is that key piece which brings that dynamic digital twin into the real world and adds all that extra information you get from the beauty of geospatial. So there's my Wednesday talk on digital twin. I'm really interested in anyone's feedback on this stuff. I'm so fascinated by it. Like I've said, I think we're at Geospatial 2.0. This is the realization of Geospatial 2.0. And just to finish with, this is work that I do today. I spend my time helping folks really get their heads wrapped around what this new world of dynamic geospatial digital twins means. So if you're challenged to understand it, if you want to get to find out how best to position those things to solve real problems, let's talk. For today, though, thanks for watching.